Good morning and welcome to the morning show. I almost said happy morning show, but I was like,
that would work. You could say happy morning
it would,
show.
but I was kind of like, oh wait, we're done with all the like merry and happy holidays at this moment.
That's true. We are.
Indeed. So here we are on January 6th. We are so happy that you are joining us today on the morning show. I'm Marshal Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley.
And where are we?
Oh, the fabulous
Arizona Center.
And you know what? I'm so excited because I love water, right? I love the and the water has been empty. I think they've either been cleaning or doing some work, and the water's back at the Arizona Center now. So I'm so happy about that.
Very cool.
The like big fountains still aren't running.
See, you're excited about the water, and I'm excited that in just a moment there's gonna be coffee coming from downstairs from Bosa.
So, oh no, I'm.
So
I was like,
yay,
oh,
coffee.
when we wrap up the show, I can go sit down there. No, seriously, like if you've never been to the Arizona Center, there's this beautiful courtyard in the back that you can go. And our producer is trying to sneak in with coffee. Always come in with coffee, and
indeed.
But no, you can go sit back there, and it's a great place to hang out and work.
No, it is.
You could stop by Bosa, get some coffee,
and there's more and more
donut.
stuff happening all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got a microbrewery coming in.
I know.
You've got restaurants getting ready to open soon.
But
They're working. And then Zarko's downstairs doing all kinds of cool stuff.
That is a thing to know about me, though, Marshall. If I'm ever really grumpy, like, sit me by a creek, turn on the shower, just like put on the sound of running water. Not pee, that doesn't do it. Don't pee in front of me. But put on some running water. I'll be like a different person.
Should we bring some frogs or anything? Or like any water kind of critters to just kind of jump around
you can
with
embellish. I'm always a fan of embellishments.
See, I'm always the accoutrements. I'm all about the accoutrements.
Also, speaking of accoutrement, I got really excited because I looked at your shirt really quickly and I thought you were wearing a Minnie Mouse bow, like to celebrate me today. But it's still a really cool shirt, but not Minnie Mouse.
Not Minnie Mouse.
Not Minnie
but
Mouse.
I did see Minnie Mouse luggage at the airport.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, that's probably not a bad idea because you can spot it from ways away.
So mine, I don't know if you've seen my luggage.
I have not. We haven't traveled together.
Okay, so it's pink. With pineapples and flamingos on it, so it's super easy to spot on the luggage rack, which I love. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, but I feel like I travel so much, that it stops to look pretty after.
Well, right, because I mean, especially if it's pink, it's going to get really dirty and grungy, and then you have to like sit there and like.
Yeah, but this designer has all sorts of really bright, colorful, like poppy. Options. So I'm like, you know what? I feel like every 2 years I'm just gonna switch it up, get something new.
Nice.
Like how fun, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited about a lot of things today, even though we're not supposed to be merry or happy since the holidays are over.
Well, and also when Jimmy Carter passed away over the weekend.
Yes, we did see.
So that was very sad.
Yeah. It's always sad when the passing of a president and somebody who's been such a big contributor to humanity and all
the Habitat for Humanity work that him and his wife did. And
so for sure. But
we will go.
I was going to do a bait and switch. We're like, but we have a comedian here, so.
Indeed. So so we've got
Enough
some great guests.
Let's go to comedy.
Well, I have seen some comics die on stage.
Oh, God, I know. I used to teach improv. I know how true that is. It's really painful, especially when you're first, like when you're with newbies and they're doing their very first show. It's a lot. As a teacher, too, you're like, I want to save them. I need to do something to save them. What do I do? And you just let the babies learn. Throw them in the pool.
Exactly. That is the best way.
Yeah. But God bless all the people who come watch amateurs, improv actors, and comedians.
I think it goes from almost amateur anything.
Yeah.
I mean, but what I love about it is it comes from such a different place. I mean, once you kind of get your feet under you and everything else, but there's this joy of kind of watching people as they find their footing, as they figure out what to do, and so.
Kind of how everybody was kind to us when we learned how to host a Christmas parade.
Indeed.
That was our amateur moment.
Well, and I think just because it was also like, oh, we have a list. Things aren't necessarily matching the list. Oh.
Oh, but it's a good thing we like to roll by the seat of our pants here.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was like, okay, well, this group didn't show up, so we're on to the next group.
Can we talk about how fluffy my hair is, though, for a second? Like, your new product, you're, like, matted down a lot better, and I just sort of let loose here. I don't know.
Maybe you need a Tony home perm.
Do I look like a wild child? Should I just, like, go hippie today? I don't think I bought any hippie clothes. All right. I'm going to stop trying to... I don't even know if I'm trying to be funny. I'm just being weird. I'll stop with the jokes, and we'll bring on...
You know what? Why don't you save them for our guest? You can save your jokes for our guest.
Oh, no, I'll be intimidated. I'll probably be super serious when he's up here.
Suddenly, Alistair Cook.
I'll get my smoking pipe.
Theater. Please tell us about comedy.
That does sound like a fun way to approach this. But we do have a great guest coming up for you. We're going to take a quick break, and he'll be joining us here shortly. Keep it right here.
Indeed. Oh my gosh, it's Monday morning.
It is Monday.
That's right.
Our favorite day.
Some
lies,
days.
all lies.
Some days is my favorite day.
know.
Not every day is my favorite day, but today is a favorite day. And I'm Marshall Shore here on the morning show with
Melissa Farley. We are at the fabulous Arizona Center. And we are joined by a wonderful guest. I can't wait for you to see his style. He's going to show you up for once, Marshall.
I don't know, because he is styling.
You both are styling. All right, this is Mike B. Dapper, and you are a booker, I understand, for comedy at the Comedy House?
The House of Comedy.
The House of Comedy. Okay. What a cool job. Like, that sounds like fun.
It can be. It definitely can
But it's
be.
a job. It's
Yes,
a job.
yes. One thing I like to do as a booker at our club is bring different type of comedy, because you have traditional comedy where somebody gets on stage and does stand up, and then you have different other elements of comedy where you have people doing different side shows, whether it's like acting, you have interaction with the crowd, we have a screen, so there's all kind of elements with social media put in there. So when you come like on a weekday, there's local comedians, so we have a huge local talent.
So
that's growing and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the incredible thing is, I mean, just seeing the comedy scene as it's been developing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's really amazing too, because you wouldn't guess how there's over 1,000 comedians performing in Phoenix alone.
Wow.
Actually, I'm not shocked by that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then if you go, like, there's different, and they do so many things. Just like we have shows on a show on the 15th, Neighbors Helping Neighbors, where we're doing a fundraising show for. They have a nonprofit organization where random guys just go out and do different jobs that people need. If you need a ramp put in your house,
That's cool.
Yeah, you got comedians and people helping, fix the community.
That's really cool. So tell me, like, because I used to be an actor, and so I know the audition process. But when you're a comic and you're trying to get booked by you.
By me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is that process like? Do they have to send you a demo? Do they come in and do live auditions?
Maybe they send a knock joke.
Marshall would
Hey, you know what? That would be better than some of the routes some people go through. Okay, I would appreciate that one. Well, I do a showcase. So on certain Sundays in the month, I'll have a showcase show where I'll have just brand new, comics that come out, and they'll show 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because 5 minutes is a lot of time, but it's not a lot of time. When you first start, it's a lot of time.
Right.
And you want to be able to just be funny in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Then you want to grow to be funny in 7 minutes. And then at that point, because our shows on the weekends, the comics do 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Long set.
Oh,
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
So 20 minutes is a long time to hold somebody's attention.
That is.
So one could think in 5 minutes you're really good. But, after 12 minutes, people start to nod off. And,
It's like you're only good in short doses, my friend.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to build that 5 minutes. And along the way, you have to go to open mics. You have to, because there's open mics all throughout the valley. We have shows Tuesdays and Wednesdays for local talent specifically. So you have those nights at the House of Comedy to be able to grow as a comedian, as a young comedian, to be able to get to the weekend to be with the headliners.
Gotcha. Okay. Now, are you a comic yourself?
Yeah. I tell a few jokes. I host on Sundays. I host the Sunday shows. So we have different variety shows. On Sundays, I host a show, the Late Night Mic, where I'll have comics. They'll perform. They'll do their set.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit down and I'll interview them just like you're interviewing me.
Well,
so,
how are we doing now?
Well, you're doing a fabulous job because I feel like I'm looking fabulous right now.
You do. You look great. You look great. Yeah. So I'm always fascinated, sort of, though, by, this is going to sound maybe a little judgy, but I'm just going to say it. Like, a lot of creative people have a really hard time moving into business management, organization, that side of things. And so to hear kind of that you're also a creative, although comics are smart. Like, comedic acting is some of the hardest work I've ever had to do in my life. So maybe that's not that big of a gap to think that you would be interested kind of in this technical side as well.
It's interesting because you have so many people that start their base from comedy that work into the production. They get behind the camera and they're doing all that. So just to be a comedian is just learning how to get on stage and be funny. Then the other element becomes the promoting yourself. Right. And with social media the way it is now, and TikTok and Instagram, you have all these elements to be able to express yourself behind the camera, because some people are really funny when they're creating, but then you get them on stage and you be like, make people laugh, and they're not as funny as they were when they were creating, and they had the element to stop, action, boom,
Right. So it's like a produced product.
Right.
You kind of have control over all these different elements, but when you're on stage, it's all you.
It is.
Like,
it is all you.
That's all
you can't pause and be like, hey, let me look at something, let me do something, and let me come back.
Well, you can't. Well, when you first start off, just like you said, when I first started off, I couldn't remember my jokes, so I didn't want to look at a pad. I would write them on like the palm, right, my hand right here. Yeah. And then I'd grab a water and I'd look at my hand, and then I remember the joke. And
Did your eyes get real big?
I hope you did the same eyes, because like, what's he doing? Yeah. Is there like Coke in that water? What's going on there?
Yeah, it's a big one right here.
Oh, we got a joke coming. We got a joke. Oh, there we go. There's a joke for you.
It's like when you see those like sitcoms where like kids write all the answers for their tests on their arms.
Exactly.
Yeah. So one of the things that I'm curious about too, we had I'm not smashing, but we had another comic on our show before. Do you remember that?
Oh.
And he was very serious, and I felt like if you weren't paying him, or like if he wasn't in that comic space, he almost got like offended if you wanted him.
He didn't
to
have
be
the
funny.
switch. His switch was not flipped on.
Is that like a thing?
That's absolutely a thing, because you have comics that are characters.
Right.
Their set is a character, and people tend to only want to see them in that character, and they can subconsciously think that people only want to see them in that character, so they stay in character.
Okay.
And they really don't know how to get outside of character. I know comics who have characters that want to perform different sets, different things. There's different topics, but they're so in that character, it's hard to get into a broader range of comedy.
Interesting. Okay. So you've kind of talked about that really cool thing that you brought up of, comedians and doing
Neighbors
that.
helping neighbors?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit more about your work in those kinds of programs and how you're connecting the community through comedy?
Well, we always like to have, like one event that helps, whether it's, like Neighbors Helping Neighbors. This is our second year doing that. And when you come to the show, we have raffles, and the raffles, all the money goes right into the organization and helping people be able. So if you're like, my driveway is broken up, they'll come and, cement your driveway, free of charge. And all that money that is donated in these different raffles go to those.
Wow.
That's really cool. How did you come up with that? Did you come
I
up
did
with
not
that
come
idea?
up. I did not do that. Okay. There is a great comedian out here, Mike Yarnell. He's a performer. He performs out here, and he was a part of the organization, and he connected me with the organization. So throughout times, there's different things, whether because comedians stick together. If one of us, gets sick, somebody has cancer, we pull together, and we'll have shows. At this club, at this club, at this club, all for, be able to raise money to, help one of our own. So we're always trying to help the community and help one another whenever, we might bicker and fight as comedians do, but
well, as you do,
as we do, but
or maybe tell a few jokes, get some laughs in the process.
Yes, and that's the key to everything, is laughter, because when you come out, you want to be entertained. You want to escape from whatever it is that's going on, the stress in your world, and that's our job. Is to give people an outlet to be able to say, hey, and that's why I like to do different variety shows, so that you're not just getting stand-up, you're also getting, improv, you're also getting acting, you're getting all kind of different things.
So let's go heavy for a second. I'm sure you've been asked this before and you've talked about it before, but I've never had you here before. So, a lot of people, comedy has changed, or at least culture and society has changed in the sense that a lot of things that used to be free range now suddenly feel like off the table, or you can't go there. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you handle that at your club? I mean, are there just certain things that you won't do now, or what are your thoughts?
Comedy is it has evolved, but with everything else, you have to evolve with it. Okay. You can't just say I was going to play basketball the way they played basketball in the 50s, because you would not be able to compete. So they had to evolve with time, just like comedy has evolved. That's where the craftsman comes in, where you have to be conscious of, because we live in a society where everybody is just trying to get attention, and comedy is struggling to be a part where it's like, are you trying to be funny, or are you trying to get attention? And so it crosses the lines at time. I'm not a person that ever tells anybody, you can't say that, because I don't want to stifle your creativity. You might be the person that says the joke that I never thought, someone could get away with. But you have to understand, with that attempt comes consequences if you're not successful. And everyone has to live with those consequences. And those consequences are, people don't want to, watch you anymore. People have the right to say, I don't want to watch you. I'm going to tune you out. And that comes with your taking risk. So you can be a comedian who sits up there and, as a quarterback, just takes the safe 5 yards, 5 yards. Or you can try up the field. If you try up that field and it gets intercepted by that joke not landing and people being offended, then you have to live with that. So, but it might land and everybody's like, oh my God, that joke was amazing.
I think this is going to get weird a little bit, but so I'm writing a book about death, and that always, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know what to do with that, even when you just say, like, I'm writing a book about death. But one of the things that I did for a while was I got so fascinated with how comedians could talk about death in ways that other people couldn't. And I would sometimes watch, even like, I'm being really bad here, I watched this comedian, he's super famous on TikTok, but he went and had this audience interaction and was going to kind of make fun of this woman's tattoos, but it turned out that all of her tattoos were like her children that had passed away. And I was like, oh my God, what is he going to do with that? And he handled it with humor, but with kind of this grace and intelligence that I don't, just seems so foreign to me. But that's what I love about good comedy, is that you're able to kind of go to these really human, relatable places and have those kinds of moments and conversations that, like, I couldn't just go up to somebody and have that kind of interaction, Well,
it's just like, comedy's like painting, right? And you're going to see some people that can paint that's regular, then you're going to see artists that are just like, wow. and you're going to see everything that it's going to come to life. That picture is going to come to life. Comedy is the same way. Whether you're talking about something happy, whether you're talking about something sad, the way you paint that picture that people are listening, it will either dictate whether they feel offended or whether they're just captivated. And a lot of the appeal of it isn't always being hilarious every second.
Yeah.
It's being entertaining to the point where somebody is sitting there, because as a booker, I tell comics, I don't judge you all the time by laughter. I look at the engagement that people, if somebody's sitting up there and they're just smiling and they're looking at you, they're engaged with whatever you're saying. So that right there is entertainment. It doesn't always have to be you're making everybody laugh and, roll out of their seat. You can just be truly entertaining.
Yeah.
Right. I remember going to one show, and it was fascinating to watch. They started with the newest comic, and then basically like a seniority. And watching the more seasoned comics try to land the audience, because it was a very diverse crowd, and so it was like the same material wouldn't appeal to each group, so they had to sit there and figure, okay, is there a commonality between these groups? And you could just kind of see this almost like slithering, going, okay, what's going on, how do I get a reaction? And it wasn't necessarily looking for, and you're right, it wasn't looking for a laughter, it was looking for looks, that engagement. And it was so interesting using that as the gauge.
Because as a comic, your crowd is different every night. So the challenge is different every night.
Right.
You never know what party is going to come in. You never know which group is coming, what age group is coming in.
Right.
So you have to be able to, until you are that person that everybody's coming to see, you have to be subconscious of who you're talking to and how to get the reaction you want to be able to entertain them. Because not every night you come to see me, I definitely don't tell the same jokes.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna look at my audience and be like, all right, well, tonight we're gonna go with this one. I see this crowd, I know this one's gonna work.
I knew you guys did that. I knew that happened. Yeah, because I was like, there's no way they just try the same thing every single time. But I want to say, we talked some serious stuff, but I also want to say it's such, I think, a treasure what you do and the line of work that you do. Joy is so important right now and in everybody's lives. And the fact that that's your job is curating joy, that's really cool.
Yeah, because laughter is great medicine.
I remember when everything shut down during the pandemic, and the first thing that reopened was comedy stores.
Yeah.
So
I had friends that were doing comedy in their backyard and Facebook living it, and just bringing on some comics. They show the crowd where everybody was 6 feet away wearing masks and everything. So.
I did a show in front of a parking lot of cars. So
oh wow.
Yeah, it was like Mad Max. It was great.
That's really cool.
Nobody put it in drive.
and they laugh by flashing their lights and honking their horns.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's great. Yeah. Well, we've been so enthralled with you. We've almost doubled your interview time. I don't even know if you noticed, but thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Please share a little bit about where people can come see shows, learn more about you, give them all the good stuff.
The House of Comedy, we're on off the 101 in High Street. Every Tuesdays and Wednesdays we have local comedy shows. Sundays you can find me there hosting shows. Just go to the website, houseofcomedy.net.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. We've got another guest, things to do, history, all our good stuff.
All kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So we will see you right back here at the fabulous Arizona Center. See, I squeezed
Snuck
it
in another one. I see you. I see you. Oh, okay.
And good morning on this Monday. We are so happy that you are joining us here on the morning show. I'm Marshal Shore.
And I'm Melissa Farley. We are here at the fabulous Arizona Center. We are also joined by our next guest, Mr. Benson Farris. Benson, I knew of you, at least from the film industry. We were both you're still active in that scene. But
you're still active in that scene.
I guess I am.
You're on camera now.
I'm on camera now. You've got a whole other little life that I didn't know about. You've created this game here that's pretty cool. Can you tell us a little bit about Continuity?
Of course, glad to introduce you to it. This is a project I've been working on for over a decade now.
Wow.
My family and I are big fans of board games. Cool way to bond together, so always wanted to create one.
Yeah.
And this sort of unites that with my love of all things fiction. This is rather a simple concept of trying to put tons of different events that we all know and love, that we're familiar with from stories, into the order that they supposedly are said to have happened.
Interesting. Okay, so tell us a little bit about how then the game works, because I see you can have 2 to 8 players, takes 20 to 40 minutes, and anybody 7 and over can do it. But
That's my estimate there.
that's your estimate there. Have you tested it on a 7-year-old?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
Oh,
I play
nice.
7-year-olds, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Just
Yeah.
have to- just
or
have to
maybe
customize
older
it a little
folks that
bit.
might not be so.
Yeah, I played with my grandparents. You just make sure to
okay.
custom pick the cards. I try to have a large range of what events are covered so that anyone can enjoy it. That's what I often say about it. I wanted to make sure that the target audience was really anyone can enjoy it because of the stories that we all enjoy.
And you've put a lot of research into
Oh, yes.
this.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Tell us
Working all the
about
time.
your research process. Like, what all goes into making something like this for a game?
Totally. So every single card is a distinct fictional event, whether it's when Hogwarts was when it's built, when it's
wow.
founded by
Okay.
the creators, if it's Captain America receiving the super soldier serum, Marty McFly going back in time, maybe even stuff from classic books, if it's when the Connecticut Yankee from King Arthur's court goes back in time to that era
Wow,
from
okay.
Mark Twain's classic novel, even a few musicals like West Side Story. So like every single one is from a different, most of them are from different ones. There are a few overlaps, but they're all a different one. And so I want to make sure that those things are accurately represented, that I describe them in a very factual way. I don't want to editorialize or give my own opinion of
Right.
how much I like Twilight or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm equal opportunity here.
Okay.
Almost like it's being presented as an encyclopedia in that way.
Okay. And is that why it took so long, all the research?
Well, there's obviously that, and then gameplay, obviously the design of it, both the artwork, how the cards look, all that. I want to give a special shout out, of course, to my friend Cameron Tevis, who did all of the artwork. He did the card layout, this amazing design of the logo, so it looked like I told him just make a clock going through hyperspace, and that's exactly what he did. Blew me away. Amazing
Nice.
stuff, and
Way to
that's
take
been the logo
direction.
ever since.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that looks great. Yeah, I feel like there's so many probably details and elements to making a good game that like we just don't
Right.
even think
course.
about when we're playing. So like
If you think about it too much, it's probably not
well,
done
that's
very well.
true. That's
right.
true. But like, what does go into making a good game? Like, how do you make sure that that's a good experience for people?
Sure. So obviously, first of all, I didn't have cards. I just had like printed piece of paper that had a handful of them written on, and just figuring out the flow of how well it works. And a big problem I figured out was I have to have large variety. It won't have replay value otherwise. It will become too narrow. You'll be dealing with too narrow points of time because in our modern world of fiction, so much of it takes place in the 1900s or the 2000s.
Yeah.
So like I had to branch out. There's a lot of little intricacies. I gave myself some personal rules about it of how many things can take place in the same story, what types of events actually have significance and are memorable to us, how many can be in the exact same year. I wanted to
Okay.
make sure that for some reason 1899 is a very popular year. Okay, well, I
Who
made
would've
sure
thought?
to.
Yes.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
Right. Who would have thought?
Try and branch
1899.
out. And obviously, if something's too obviously named, I have to change it. Okay, I did not use the year 1984 from the book 1984.
That makes
Okay.
sense
I tried
because
to
it
find-
kind of gives it away.
It would
Yeah.
kind of give it away, wouldn't
Right,
it?
right,
Right.
Yeah. Well, cool. Marshall, are you a big game player? Do you play a lot of games?
You know, it's like, yeah, actually, I was talking to a friend, it's like his birthday's coming up in a couple weeks, and that's what he wants to do is have like a day of games.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So,
fun.
yeah.
That's really fun. Yeah.
So a variety of board games, so yeah.
So what's your hope for this? I mean, is this on the shelves? Like, can people go buy yet, or?
I'm certainly hoping to.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into. At this point, it is not.
Okay.
People can reach out through the social media, all that. I ship
okay.
them out. If someone's close to Phoenix, happy to deliver it when I'm
Ooh, so
going
we're
around.
like the early adapters here. We get to kind of play the game before it's mass publicly
Exactly.
available.
Yeah, I
That's
have an
cool.
initial print run, but looking into what the possibilities are for having available retail.
Okay. Are we able to do a little?
I know, that's what I was going to say. It's
Okay.
like, when do we get a play?
Of course. So I put a few out here, show the variety here. Obviously, you're welcome to look through the 330 that
I know.
are here.
I was like, that's a lot of cards.
Oh yes, it's a big stack, and I want to keep it compact, easy to use, all of that. So typically what I do is start with a little timeline that starts with people. So we're going to have a nice variety here. So Gladiator, the original 2000 Ridley Scott movie, is in 181 AD. Then we have the origins of the video game Resident Evil, 1967. As I was mentioning, Connecticut Yankee and King Arthur's Court in 528. And then we're going to go way into the future to when Planet of the Apes is, 3,978. So that's just, I have to recommend people start with like 3 to 7.
Now, I do want to point out, though, 2 bits of Arizona history.
Oh, wonderful.
The film Gladiator was actually, he came up with the idea after going to the Peace Art Museum and seeing this painting on the wall.
Oh, good.
That's where that came from. And a lot of the Planet of the Apes
Not
filming.
a visit to Rome, where the gladiators actually
he
battled,
went to the
but
Peace
to
Art
Arizona.
Museum.
Okay.
Right. And then also Planet
You're not
of the
claiming
Apes.
there's gladiator fights in Arizona.
No, but there was a painting. And so that's what he saw.
Okay.
And then also Planet of the Apes just happened to do a lot of filming here.
Oh
in
yes, I think I
Arizona.
had heard that.
Yeah. So I just
Well, those
wanted,
were completely coincidental.
Well, exactly, but I just wanted to point out those coincidences.
He's always finding Arizona history in
can,
everything. Yeah.
Sure. So just gonna throw out one here. What player does is one person's a reader, and the other people are time agents. And your job is to point where you think that these events happen. You're not guessing the year. You're simply guessing which gap it falls into.
Oh, okay.
So this is from the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. The Ministry of Magic, the primary governing body of the wizard community in Great Britain, is founded in this year with the head of the Wizengamot, Ulick Gamp, serving as the first Minister for Magic. So is that after 3,978, Planet of the Apes, before 181 Gladiator, or in one of these other gaps?
I think it's in a gap. I will say here, right,
All right.
in the middle.
He's going between Connecticut Yankee and Resident Evil.
Okay, I'm going gap here.
All right. Well, Marshall is right. That's in the year
right.
1707.
Nice job, Marshall.
Wow.
Mentioned one of the books. I can't remember off the top of my head which one of them, the exact year of that. So I want to make sure everything's checks out. I do hope one day to include on the blog website a complete list of where to reference these in
fun.
case people get into big
That's fun.
nerdy
Yeah.
arguments
Right.
over
Well, that
things.
always happens. It's like going, well, wait a
It's bound to
minute.
happen.
It will happen. Absolutely. Yeah. Can we do another one?
Of
Let's
course.
do another one.
How about you read?
Okay.
That's just a selection that is
Okay, hold
gotten.
on. Mm-hmm.
Read one to Marshall there.
All right, you ready?
Indeed. I'm not going to look. I'm not going to cheat.
Okay. Oh, you're going to know this one.
Oh, I like how you say that, and I'll be like, oh, man.
In New York City, the Jets gang co-founder, Tony, meets and falls in love in this year with Puerto Rican immigrant. Oh, I thought it was going to be like a Jets and Yankees thing. You probably will know this one. Okay, let's restart that. In New York City, the Jets gang co-founder, Tony, meets and falls in love with this year with Puerto Rican immigrant Maria, who is the younger sister of Bernardo, the founder of the rival gang, the Sharks.
Indeed.
What year was that?
We'll put it right in the middle there.
You're good at this game, Marsh.
So, because I was like, well, you've got Rita Moreno.
Okay, hold on. We're going to keep going.
Oh, we're going to keep,
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see.
So you'll see that sometimes
Until I can crash
you
and
play
burn.
where all the players are pointing at the same time, like I was doing with you guys.
Right.
But other times you'll read to a direct person. You can choose which rule set you want so that it caters toward the type of gameplay the group enjoys.
You ready?
I am.
Following the Asgardians' victory over the Frost Giants in their war on, I don't know how to say that,
Jotunheim.
Loki is adopted in this year by King Odin and begins to be raised as a brother to Thor. This is from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What year was this, Marshall?
Oy vey. I'm assuming it's either here or here. I will put it there.
You're so good! Okay.
Well, right now there's really large time gaps, so it's kind of like, it's like, okay.
Exactly. When you have, we have 7 down right now. That leaves 8 gaps. That's way easier than when there's 20 gaps there and you're trying to figure out in like a 2-year gap.
67, it's like.
This is more current pop culture, so I'm willing to bet he might not know this one.
Maybe,
okay,
maybe.
Let's see.
Oh, that's very likely.
Okay.
This is a nice tricky one here.
Yeah. So, In his home in Westchester County, New York, Theodore Evelyn Mosby tells his 2 kids, Penny and Luke, in this year the lengthy story of how he met their mother.
Oh, that's the what's his name from Hedwig and the Angry Inch. So,
You think there?
wait a minute. Oh no, this is future. No, so it's going to be here because I want to say that's like it was like 2000s.
Damn it. Okay, all right. You got it. You got
So
it.
that's
I
6 years
didn't
away,
realize.
5 years
Oh,
away,
I didn't
depending
realize
when
that.
this airs, I
I
suppose.
didn't realize it was set in the future.
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, the show mainly takes place in the present, but he's going back
Right.
to telling his kids about it.
Right.
Didn't realize.
creates a nice little-
I didn't realize that part of it.
Yeah.
Ooh, this
That
is-
explains that intro where it's kind of
Okay.
like you hear the kids and.
It shows on screen several times, 20, 30.
I've learned something.
Exactly,
Just by
and all the
playing this,
time-
I didn't realize.
All the time when playing with people, they're like, wow, I had no idea. Or even if it's a detail within the
Right.
text or the year that
Yeah.
happens, any sort of info like that.
I like how she's like going, okay, what?
Hold on, I
line?"
really want Marshall to get one wrong. So. Okay, last
Yeah,
one.
look
Last
through
one.
them. Don't just go randomly.
Okay,
Try to trip them up.
okay. This is another Marvel Cinematic Universe, but not maybe as easy.
Oh, like the other one was easy. It's like I was like, oh.
Following the death of his mother, Meredith, by cancer, young Peter Jason Quill is abducted on November 10th of this year by alien ravagers led by Centaurian Yondu Odanta on board an M ship in Missouri. Peter will become the galactic outlaw Star-Lord and team up with 4 other wanted individuals to become the Guardians of the Galaxy. When is this, Marshall?
Now I'm assuming that was in English.
Yeah.
Let's see.
A couple cards do feature a couple of fictional languages, especially when you get into the anime stuff.
Because I have no clue. I will say.
Wrong.
Well, see, and I said it was like, when you start
Vicious.
getting into these like 10-year gaps, I was like.
No, you did, Us. You've done.
I was like,
a really
no,
good job.
no, I'm not offended at all. That I'm like, I don't even know pretty much what you said.
I know you were like.
You're a rapid fire there.
Well, Benson, obviously this was so much fun. We enjoyed playing this game. So tell people if they do want to order one of these directly from you, how can they contact you to do that?
Of course. So I obviously recommend people to follow the social media pages. It's just at continuity_game on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, whatever we're
Well
calling it
thought
now.
out.
Make it pretty easy there. Continuity itself has been taken, of course, and
Right.
it's good to make sure it's known that's a game.
Exactly.
And if you want to challenge Marshall and I to a game, we'd be happy to host. So just let us know. Hit us up on our social channel and let us know if you want to play a game.
And what is our social channel?
On the Morning Show, that is our social channel. Thank you so much, Benson, for joining
course.
us. We're going to be
Yeah,
taking
no, this was a hoot.
Yeah, we'll be taking a quick break. We'll be right back with some more history.
Indeed. I think we got some history that actually fits in the timeline thing. Maybe I'll make you guess.
Oh, God.
See?
Getting back on you with the
That's
guessing.
called karma.
Yay.
We will see you right back. Good morning and welcome back to the morning show.
Oh, dear.
Oh my.
Oh, my. Oh, my. All right, I'll be Marshall. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. I'm Melissa Farley, and I'm here with
Marshall Shore at the fabulous Arizona Center.
Marshall's dying just a little
I know.
bit.
I feel like I've got
Yeah.
a snorkel and I'm going to.
I'm sorry, friend.
So it's just that season where everything
Yeah.
is that hot, cold. Bum, 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 bum.
I know.
Indeed. So, oh my gosh, that was so much fun.
Because you won.
Up until
You
you
were
started
like winning life.
Up until you started like gibberish, like blah 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 blah.
Because in my mind I was like, we're just gonna keep playing until Marshall gets one wrong, and then I was like, oh my God, he's never gonna get one wrong. We live here now. Like,
That's right. We're now forever stuck
Yeah.
here. Just play.
just play.
So.
Yeah.
No, that was fun. So, kind of going along with that whole timeline thing. So, Arizona, a timeline, 1975,
Okay.
January 6th. Raul Castro is brought into office as the first Hispanic to ever be governor of Arizona.
Well, Well, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so that was a huge deal, breaking all kinds of barriers, allowing Hispanic leadership throughout Arizona, which was great. He did wind up leaving a few years later to become the ambassador to Argentina. He had been an ambassador to various other places before.
Okay.
And so we have yet to have another Hispanic governor since then.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think it's only a matter of time until that happens.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Indeed. And then some other things to celebrate. So a day that I know you would appreciate.
What?
Cuddle Up Day.
I would appreciate
Indeed,
that.
because, in some places it's really cold.
Yes.
And a great way to keep warm is to cuddle.
Cuddle.
Whether it's with a puppy,
Puppies.
a person,
We should
an
have brought in
electric
puppies to cuddle today.
Indeed. It's like, oh man, we need to get on our crack team of
I know.
bringing us cuddle puppies.
We got to bring Brian back. Brian's whole job should just be puppy wrangler. Can we do
to
that?
just bring in puppies every day.
Yeah.
Aw. Kind of like Puppy Bowl. We'll just have a little segment.
They can just run around. Yeah. I'll grab one occasionally.
Until one day he brings in armadillos.
I actually really like
I do
armadillos.
as well. That's why I was like, ooh, that was
I
kind
would
of
be okay
like,
with that too.
What fun.
They're really cool.
Now also it is Bean Day. A day to
And
celebrate
beans, the
all
musical
those
fruit.
beans, the magical fruit. Exactly.
more you eat.
The more you toot.
Yep.
Indeed. I know we can hear Pat laughing already just
Oh,
from
yes.
yeah.
Every day is bean day for Pat.
But what I love is it's a day where we also can celebrate. So when you look at the indigenous kind of agricultural system, there were the three sisters. And so corn, beans, and squash.
Mm-hmm.
And they would plant those in rotation so that way they would not just deplete the soil of one thing, but they would keep feeding the soil.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that crops, the land has to kind of recover and replenish. You can't just plant
keep
the
doing
same
the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
See, yeah, and I grew up in the Midwest, and it was corn and beans. And so they would rotate back and forth from year to year.
I'm really not a big bean girl. That's not my area of preference. But my mom would like always just crave those sweet like baked beans whenever we would make a steak. Like that's what she would want as a side.
Love those.
I don't know.
Good for them. I'm
never got
glad
into
somebody
it.
does.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I love how like some of the heritage beans are now coming out, like Tepary beans are making a comeback from.
I was thinking about, I'm house sitting for some friends in a couple of weeks, and the first time I house sat for them, they were like, oh, you're welcome to anything in our pantry, in our fridge. I opened it was like my nightmare. It was just like beans, like a whole pantry of beans. And I was like, wow, they must fart a lot.
No, because they put little drops of vino. Then, although my mom, she made something and she didn't read the instructions on vino.
Yeah.
And she just poured the entire bottle into the beans as she was cooking them.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Did no one ever fart again?
Oh no.
It was the opposite?
It was the opposite effect. And she's like, these things don't work. And I'm like, oh, because you didn't follow the instructions.
That's funny.
Yeah, she'll be like, oh, I can't believe you told that story. Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
I'm so glad we started our week on a Monday talking about farts. That's really fun.
Well, and and then the other thing for a tasty treat, National Shortbread Day. Because who doesn't love some shortbread? Now, it's a Scottish treat, and the original recipe was really just 1 part sugar, 2 parts butter, and 3 parts flour.
Yeah, it's really simple.
It's super simple and dates back from the 16th century.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mary Queen of Scots was sitting
Mary
there
Queen of Scots.
having it made.
My friend Sarah just made a beautiful batch of shortbread at a dinner party we had over the weekend.
You didn't bring any in for us?
I still wasn't eating.
Okay.
I couldn't even
Completely
think
understand.
about food. Yeah.
Well, and then also, not only Shortbread Day, Bean Day, but Technology Day.
Isn't everyday technology
Pretty
day?
much
We cannot
anymore. I
function
mean,
without
but
technology.
kind of like we talked about Moore's Law, where it's kind of like, technology is so rapidly changing and everything else. I mean, but when you look back at the wheel would be considered technology, and that allowed people to actually move things.
That's true.
And so
Innovation.
And now it's just that window of innovation keeps getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so
It certainly does.
indeed, so all kinds of cool things. So what are some things we could do around town?
Well, I'd love to tell you, but I just lost my email of where the little blurbies are.
Man,
Hold
technology, it's great when it works.
Okay, I found it.
Not so great when it doesn't.
I found it. Okay, this one is actually right up my alley. Tai Chi at the Franciscan Renewal Center in Scottsdale. It's at 6:30 p.m. tonight. It's really a meditation with movement. It's a 6-week class experience. And, this is a centuries-old practice of Qigong and Tai Chi. There's tons of health benefits for this. It's based on Chinese martial and healing arts. And it's really meant to engage your body, your mind, in a really slow, fluid movement to focus on breathing, get relaxed. So I really, really like this, actually. I've kind of added this into my practice. So class meets starting tonight, January 6th, basically through February 10th. And then it's this is a great price. I can't really believe this. It's $60 for the 6-week session.
Wow.
So it's basically like $10 a class. Yeah.
That's like a cup of coffee a day.
Well, I know. Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's such a bargain.
if you want to kind of start your week off on a Monday night, sort of mindfully moving your body like we talked about for
Hello,
the new year.
2025.
Yeah, what a
Get
great
some
way.
movement flowing, some community being built.
Yes.
So, yeah.
This next one is near and dear to my heart because I feel like my tap show is going to be a similar entry to this. Spice of Life Senior Variety Show auditions.
Oh.
Yeah, at Chandler. It's this afternoon. You don't have a ton of time. It starts at 2 p.m. Talent has no age limit, Marshall, and so they're
No.
looking for active senior adults who can sing, dance, and perform a talent to entertain a crowd. The shows will be on March 19th and March 20th. There's also going to be another round of auditions on January 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. if you cannot make today. And it's free to audition. And yeah, it's at the Chandler Community Center.
Very cool. And at one point with the State Fair, I was an MC for one of the stages, and they brought on the senior Miss Sun City. And there was like a whole team of things that they did, so a whole little variety show right there.
Yeah.
So
I'm like thinking about my tap show. I'm like, maybe I should just go sit in and like bring in some other acts, like add to our little tap show.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, this next one has like all of my favorite words in the title.
I'm trying. It's like, okay.
Chicken and Pickle, Private Magical Igloos in Glendale.
I have no idea. So I get to eat a pickle in an igloo, pretty much.
Yes, exactly.
Oh wow! Oh, it's like a shaky shake.
Yeah, so Chicken and Pickle is a place. You can basically cozy up in one of their decorated igloos and enjoy kind of the weather and have some fun with family and friends. They have festive drinks. They need reservations for this. You cannot change your reservation once you make it, so you've got to be committed.
Well,
to
yeah,
this
because
igloo.
because you're in an igloo.
Yeah. And you can go anytime from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. through February 6th. And there is a $40 registration fee. Typically with those registration fees, they go to your
Right towards
reservation
it,
fee,
right.
I should say. They go towards, your bill. So I've always wanted to do one of those, actually, eat in a little igloo, but I haven't had the opportunity yet, so.
And now you can. Unless a big giant comes along.
Shakes up my igloo like a snow globe.
Exactly, like a snow globe, and like, oh, look. Wait, it's a little person in there.
That would be a little person in there, yeah. This is all for the roller derby fans out there. I shouldn't say fans. I should say people who do roller derby. The Arizona Roller Girls. Sorry, I can speak. They are recruiting tonight. They are looking for people that want to make new friends. They'll actually work with you and teach you kind of how to do this. I assume you have to know how to skate, but
That probably does help.
yeah. So they're basically inviting you to come out, see what it's all about. You can observe a live practice with scrimmage scenarios. You don't even need to bring your skates. You can also volunteer to referee or do some other volunteer position. Basically, they're just open to getting people involved with what they're doing. Ages 14 and up are welcome. So it's 7:30 to 9 tonight, and it's at the Broadway Recreation Center.
And they're such a fun crowd.
It really is a fun crowd.
So.
Yeah, I've gone to a couple of these games, and it's a good time.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I love how they all have then like roller derby names.
Yes.
Like Stabitha Christie.
Yeah.
And all these really kind of fun.
Yeah, totally. I know.
Horror names. And it was funny because I had dinner out, and I was like, oh, that's my friend Grant, and he's friends with my friend Julie, who is part of the whole roller derby crowd. Not realizing that he was sitting at a dinner party for someone's birthday, but they were all the younger roller derby crowd, so I didn't know any of them.
Okay.
So then, of course, we all met up outside. And
Well, we should get some roller derby girls in here.
Oh, yeah,
My friend Lynn French is great. She would love to probably, I don't know if she would love to come do it, but I would like to think she would love to come
it's
do
like
it.
we're probably get Julie. I mean, there's a whole host. I mean, and they said, would you be willing to MC one of our games?
Fun!
And I'm like, oh, that would be fun.
Did you do it?
I haven't done it yet, so I just saw them literally like just before
Can
Christmas.
we do it together like the Christmas parade?
Oh, that
my
would be
God, that would
fun.
be really
Yeah.
fun. Okay, cool.
Okay.
I just invited
I will
myself,
reach
sorry.
out to them. Oh, no. Oh, yes, like I mind. It's like, oh, Melissa.
I just feel like we'd have some really fabulous things to say.
Well, just the names
I know.
alone are such a hoot.
That would be a good time. Let's do it.
Yeah, no, that would
Okay.
be.
Speaking of not a good time for me because I have no children, but if you
Oh, I
have...
thought it was going to be a running thing.
No, that would also not be a good time. If you have children or young ones, or maybe you still got family in town, an extended stay after the holidays, God bless you. Family Pajama Story Time is happening at Litchfield Park.
Aww.
Yeah, it kicks off at 5:30. You can bring a blanket, you can wear your PJs, bring your favorite stuffy. Maybe this would be fun for me. I feel like I would do this without a child. You can also come in regular clothes too. You don't have to wear your PJs, but it is story time. It's supposed to help you get relaxed and ready for bed. This program is geared, okay, no, not for me, towards ages 6 and under, and caregivers. It is totally free, so,
Aw,
you know.
indeed. I used to do story times, so I'm kind of partial to story times.
I could see that.
They are lots of fun.
Yeah, they are lots of fun.
Yeah.
You know what else is fun? Birthdays.
Because who doesn't love a good celebration?
I do.
And oh my gosh, we've got some great birthdays coming up.
Who we got?
And you'll be shocking because yet I was able to find some birthdays with some Arizona history.
I'm not shocked at all.
Well, I mean, it's like Loretta Young.
Okay.
Of stage and screen.
Yep.
She was known for just her acting abilities and her beauty and
stunning.
grace. I mean, coming down in a big dress down a big staircase
Oh,
and making an entrance. And in the early 70s, she actually bought a property when she was living here to become a home for wayward girls.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Nice.
it didn't really work out, but she stuck around through the 80s.
Okay.
And so Loretta Young lived right here in Phoenix, which I think is kind of cool.
I feel like a lot of people have lived here. That,
A lot of
you
people
just
come
don't
and
realize.
gone, and then Sandra Bernhardt, the comic.
Okay, yeah.
So she basically graduated from Saguaro High, and so she has, a comedic voice.
Yeah.
Coming through, and really one of the first reoccurring character that was openly bisexual on Roseanne.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So yeah,
Okay.
and so and she did a one-woman play about herself. So she has just done so much, and really that for those formative years of being in Scottsdale are really playing into her own humor and how she sees the world.
Well, that's cool. I'd love to see that influence.
And so yeah, she is a hoot. I've seen her on stage several times. And then no Arizona connection, but a Barbie connection.
Okay.
Kate McKinnon.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, it is her birthday today.
Happy birthday,
some
Kate.
Saturday Night Live to Weird Barbie and so many other things. I mean, You might just know her as Weird Barbie. Who knows? But
A lot of good comic stuff today. We've been on theme all day
well,
long.
I thought, I just thought it was so funny. It's like, what a great way to start Monday with some laughter.
Some humor, yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
I mean, with Dapper, with Kate, and playing a good game that made us laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, darn.
We've had a great Monday. We hope you have a great Monday. Have a really wonderful week. We will be right back here to hang out with you tomorrow, Tuesday morning.
Indeed.
Yeah, so tune into the morning show. Follow us at On The Morning Show on Instagram.
Oh, and don't forget to send us if you have an anniversary, if you have a birthday, if you have anything you want us to say, hey, we're happy you're doing that. Come on, send it in, and we'll be happy to chat about it.
Yes, we would.
All